you're aware that the place has an immense energy. You know, it's a really special piece of Africa. I mean, where else can you have, in the middle of an arid area, water that bubbles out of the earth, runs through a couple of hippo pools, and disappears back into the earth? It's like there's a pump under the ground keeping the whole system running.
When we are saying now we are doing the new rooms, for example, wing 1 to 7 is moving right from White Tees to the opposite side, and it's going to go out of the main building site.
The way that the camp had been laid out, because it was on two sides of the water, and it had actually cut off access for animals to this water, and when in trying to redesign it, the two things that were very important was, one, to make sure that we end up with privacy. You don't want this sort of situation where you can, from the public area, look right into someone's tent.
What we're trying to do is, whatever extension the new buildings are going to do, is we're trying to save as much trees as possible, because seeing how long it takes for them to grow. And they act as natural barriers in terms of creating the privacy of the single units.
Privacy is incredibly important. Privacy basically means exclusivity.
Now we're going to come up to the locations for the family tents, which have been pegged out.
My role essentially is to coordinate the design and to manage the construction. At the concept, we're also trying to foresee a lot of the construction problems related to building in the bush, which are mainly logistics. So we gave a lot of emphasis on the infrastructure, on sustainability, on making the lodge eco-friendly. And also we're quite fortunate because the whole team of the consultants are experienced in bush and similar projects.
Northscape was awarded the main contract for the project. We specialise in bush lodges. We've probably done 8 luxury lodges to date, so this will be our 9th. My guys on the ground, a lot of them have been with me over 10 years, so I understand basically once they've been given their set roles, every week I'll be up and down. All my guys know not to cut anything, leave that to the landscapers, and so minimal damage is basically what we're after. In the bush, building in the bush, that's one of the biggest constraints, is weather, and especially on this job, the road in here is not an all-weather road, so the big trucks, they can't get in if it rains.
My name is Peter Maina, and I'm site manager. I was having a big problem with the rain. It was falling every.
Tsavo has such an amazing landscape, especially where the spa is located. You can see over the Chulus to one side, Kilimanjaro on the other. So really all that was required was to frame that beautiful view and let the landscape speak for itself. So we took the original footprint of the house as the main spa spaces, so the changing areas and a big hammam in the middle. The most dramatic thing, architecturally speaking, in the spa is the staircase, and staircases have a wonderful way of creating drama and anticipation. I like the idea of a pool not being part of the main space, that it's something that you almost stumble upon. You're in the bush. I didn't want it to feel forced.
And we've had chainsaws, we had an excavator going for a while. There were lions 400 meters away in the valley watching the excavator work. So I think the initial noise gives them a bit of a fright, but once they're used to it, 2 days time, there's no problem.
We've seen buffaloes come through the camp, sweep the whole swamps. We've seen lions come in. We've seen elephant one time. Yeah, last week we made a leopard kill, which is a water bath. The following morning we were doing our walks and we found these, leopard, yeah. And you still can see the fur. We didn't disturb the animals as much as the general climatical change has done.
And I'm a great believer that when you build in the bush, you don't want to build architecture with a capital A. If you look at a photograph of the place, you've got to kind of look twice to be able to actually, there's a building, there's a building, okay. That intimacy between the building and the bush is part of that experience. You want to give your guest a chance to get a one-on-one experience with Africa. We specifically designed the tent under a thatched roof, which was already part of the metaphor, and then we tried to design the tent in such a way that it was, because it's a warm, it's a hot environment. We tried to design the tents that you could get air through them. There are a couple of challenges in terms of the tent interface with the skirtings, and if the wind is blowing, it's those interfaces that actually test the tent.
With our contract on the Finch Hattons project, we produce all the tents in Nairobi in our workshop, and part of the challenges of producing the tents in Nairobi are getting the materials here, and we've had to source specialty fabrics from South Africa and had to ensure that they're fire retardant.
I'm Lucia from Caballero Interiors. We're based in London, and we've been asked to do the interior design here at Finch Hattons. Finally the test tent is finished, and yeah, we're all just kind of very excited over the last 2 days, seeing how everything comes together, putting all the furniture in place and seeing everyone's hard work.
If you look at what we tried to do with the design of these tents, Finch has such a magic sort of white mischief colonial safari history woven into its fabric. One doesn't want to lose that connection. So the metaphor that we've used was largely dictated by those parameters.